The beats, the flow, the rhythm. All movement starts from the streets. Streets A&R Podcast.
Yes, sir. Man, I feel that, bro.
Yes, sir. Hey, we gonna make sure our energy right so it can help you balance your energy, and we gonna feed off one another off in here. And man, it's a good day.
Yes, sir, man.
It's a good day, man. I love coming home and seeing my little one, little Easy E. Oh, you didn't see her, did you? Oh, she'll be back. She might come down and say a few bars because she wants to scream at us right now.
I'm with it.
Hey, but man, welcome to the Streets A&R Podcast. You should give me my echo. Yeah, we don't do that.
Podcast.
Man, it's your host, getEJIKEwithit.
It's your other host, Jonny.
Man, we here in the back, man. We got our team. We got the young guy back there. We also got our guy, Mr. International, Montreal, trotting across the globe. Whole name is just a metaphor, man. It's on and popping.
Mm-hmm.
But man, we good. We glad to be back. Getting into Black Heritage Month coming up in here, man, and it's just good to be amongst us and to build with us and to promote us. And we ain't against nobody. Well, we're against some people, but we don't need to tell about them. Just telling the truth. But we only trying to get their spirit right as we get ours right. And we just gonna keep, we keeping this energy up, keeping it live. And today, I'm not gonna lie, man, we got us a nice wizard. So, I don't want to say sorcerer just in case it go against a religion, but you know what I mean. A sorcerer, on the tracks, high spirited, extremely high talent, head on her shoulders, and will knock your head off your shoulders because she cut up and she be boxing with me in the gym.
That intro went left real fast.
It went right. 1-2. You know what I'm saying? So just somebody that I've over the last couple years been introduced to, and immediately I think I saw her opening up. I didn't see her. I heard about her opening up for, I think it was Lil Baby in Lincoln.
It was actually in Ralston Arena.
I was like, oh, she got to be dope. So I'm going to just start checking her out. I checked her out and I was like, oh, she dope. So let me try to get her on this bill. I'm doing my sneaker soiree. Young lady I called up, out to hit up on the blue, just on the gram, on Facebook. I'm like, hey, got a show? You trying to get on? And are you willing to open? She was like, yeah. I said, hey, and stop me if I'm lying. I said, how much do you think you want to charge for a 20-minute set? She told me her price. I said, cool. Is that kind of how it went?
That's exactly how it went, for sure.
No arguing. I was like, all right, I got you. Then I told her who else was on the set with Light Pole and Mickey Fax, and she was with it. And I'm gonna be honest with you, when she stepped on that stage last year, I keep telling people I have a different view as the DJ. It was a real life Bruce Leroy Soul Glow around her.
Wow.
And
you should have got that on video.
I was DJing, I was busy. But I watched it, and because I can see her, I can see the crowd. And to watch the crowd, the opener has a tough act. Sometimes openers just do that just to get their bread and go on. But she has a way of commanding your attention. And I watched it. And I was like, dang. I watched the crowd from my view, seeing her, and then seeing the crowd start to trickle their way up. Like, who is this? And who is ripping this thing up? Opening track. I love her when I open tracks on her sets right now. Like, it's energizing. And
thank you.
And I'm telling you, she put sets together. We went to a show with, the homies J Crumb, Yada, Jay Influential. She put a set together, and I love to see it. It's like putting an album together. So I know when her next album drop, it's gonna be something immaculate. It's gonna be a story.
Ooh.
I'm hyping you. Listen, you want me on stage? I got you.
Listen, I'm here for it, all of it.
And if y'all don't know who we talking about, we talking about this lovely sister here, Tylynn. What's up, Tylynn?
Man, listen, that introduction was so great. Now I just feel like I gotta match your energy. You know what I'm saying? Eric, literally, like from day one, since like you reached out, our interaction when we met, it's been nothing but love, fam. Like just truly appreciate your appreciation for my artistry. And I just, I appreciate that you're a genuine person, because, not everybody has that. We got a whole lot of wannabes around the city and a lot of people who just talk a big game but really don't have any follow through. But I really respect that you're somebody who actually has like, integrity. Like when you're like, oh, I'm gonna do something, then you actually do it. So yeah, man, thank you for that amazing introduction. That was super fire. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, man. And she low-key is a tester, because I think after the show, she didn't get paid yet. So I know she's probably like, I don't know. I'm putting words in your mouth. I'm like, I wonder if this nigga gonna give me my money. I found her because I was like, oh, they at the studio. Ran her down the studio. I said, yo, got you. Get you paid. I appreciate you. Everything that you do. I think she's a very observant and person who will she'll let you hang yourself with the rope. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And it's good to see. She's not gonna press you. She's not gonna trip over anything. Kind of, she has that backing, kind of like that God backing. Like, it's gonna be all right regardless. Mm-hmm. Let me see what you about. And I'm grateful that you even allow us the opportunity to do that and express that. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know if that's you, but I feel like that's you.
Nah, you definitely hit the nail like right on the head. I'm that person who's kind of like, I don't really like to push people, put pressure on people to do something that they said they're gonna do. I more so like to watch action. So I'm one of those people who are kind of like, I give you my trust until like you break it. I'm not one of those like, oh, I got to figure out if I could trust you. Obviously, it's circumstantial. But when it comes to like music and all of that stuff, you know what I mean? I typically, I give people a chance, and then I just kind of watch your actions from there. Because, like when you burn bridges, they gone with me. I'm a Scorpio, so I can't even help it. You know what I'm saying? But like, yeah, like I said, you're very integral. So, I appreciated that off rip. And it's been consistent, so.
Appreciate you.
Yeah, man. It's just nice to finally meet you. I've been in your presence a few times, and I remember the first time I met you. I remember the first time I heard about Tylynn.
Oh, I heard.
Okay, let me know. What's up? Remind me.
I heard this one.
Do you remember when you used to do community performances at the L402 store?
L402 store.
Off of 62nd and Ames. William Dortch at Dortch Shop.
I know.
She done put that in the back of her memory.
I have no recollection. You might be mixing me up with someone.
I'm not. I remember Tylynn at 15 years old, your name being mentioned in circles, and I didn't even want to freestyle with you. At 15 years old, you've been doing music, right?
I've been doing music for a long time, but this is the thing right here. So I didn't actually start calling myself Tylynn until like 2018 or 17. I was 15 back in like 2009 or 10. I went by a totally different name at that time.
That's when I first heard about you.
That's interesting. That's crazy. I don't recall.
That's when I first heard about you.
Wow, time.
Hey, somebody got to pull up an archive, and somebody got it.
Yeah,
Somebody
I'm like, because I don't have any recollection of that, like at all. Like that place that you named. I don't have any recollection. Was it called something else?
Nah, it was called the L402 store.
I don't know. Now you got me like, what is going on? Like I'm having a moment. I don't know. I really don't. I don't have any recollection of that.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, if you find a video, send it to me so I could be like, what?
Now I'm gonna get on. I'm gonna hit
Aliens.
William Dortch.
Yeah, hit up William. Like, hey man, see what happens with these cell phones, man? They scrubbing our minds. No,
I remember them. I remember them community events, and maybe I'm mistaken, but I remember for sure King ISO was there, and I remember you being a young buck being around, and you might have not was going by Tylynn, but that's your government, right?
My middle name.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. So, no, it's just an honor and a pleasure just to be in your presence, honestly.
Well, I appreciate that. Thank you. I mean, I'm just little old me, though, you know. But that's love. I appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we spoke earlier just about, you know, me finding out who you were, you know, being on Ralston Arena. Mm-hmm. And I have kind of an industry question for you. How is it that you were able to secure that type of spot? And what did it take to get to that level to where you could be called on as an opener for such a large artist?
So, okay, that's actually interesting. What happened was at that time I was doing a lot of freestyles on Instagram, and that's when like freestyling on Instagram was really like starting to become a thing. Mm-hmm. And so I was doing that. Those freestyles were getting a lot of traction. And what happened was it was actually like, who was it? Niles, Paul, Jamel, all of them, they got together to bring Lil Baby here. And Jamel like just reached out to me and was like, you know, do you want to open for Lil Baby? And I was like, what? Yes, you know, of course I would love to open for Lil Baby. And then what they did was they kind of put on this front contest thing, but he was like, don't worry about that because you're already selected, just don't tell anybody yet. We're gonna do a whole little thing about it and then reveal the winners, quote unquote. And really that's how I got put onto that. It was really just him kind of following my music and the other guys too, and they were like, we have to put her on there. And so that's really what it was.
Was that before or after you won like Nick Cannon's challenge?
That was I think it was after. I think that was after I had won that challenge.
Yeah. We follow. Don't get it twisted.
No, much love, man. Yeah, no, that was around 2018. That was a really great stride that I was taking in my music career. And then I just did some things to where I wasted a whole lot of time, and hopefully we'll just get more into that conversation because I learned a lot within like a year and a half, like fast.
I mean, we can kind of, you know, questions gonna come and go, but we can kind of get into that now. When you say wasted, like, was it a time where you just kind of were like not quitting, but just took a pause? Or was it, you know, things that maybe personal life that just kind of happened? Life was happening around you, or what was that 1.5 years like? What was going on?
So it was like an unintentional pause. So what happened was, so when I was taking that stride in 2018, like when I'm telling you, I was doing every challenge. People would just tag me in challenges. I would just go in there freestyle. I'm killing all these challenges. I did the Nick Cannon thing. I got the notoriety from Aronica, from just several different like celebrities were kind of picking up on these things and seeing them. And so what happened was I ended up having a guy from Atlanta reach out to me who had like his own label that he started and everything. And so I started working with him, and he had all these plans. He had a budget. You know, he's like, we're gonna get these records done. Such and such is gonna produce them. We're gonna get them mixed and mastered by Patchwork in Atlanta. We're gonna get on BET, all of these things. And so I'm like, you know, okay, I'm a little skeptical because I've worked with several people and people would always be like, oh, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. And then it falls through. Well, a lot of things that he said that we were going to do, we were doing them slowly but surely. So I'm like, okay, well, there's clearly some validity with, you know, this particular person that I was working with. But the worst advice that I listened to, which I shouldn't have, which is why I say I feel like I wasted so much time, was he was like, you know, put a pause on doing the freestyles, put a pause on doing the features, because we were working on some just really high quality stuff that he was just like, you know, once we roll all of this out, your price for things is going to shoot up. So you don't want to just be like just stretching yourself out here, there, making yourself available everywhere, because you know what I'm saying, we're trying to build you up to be something big. I'm like, okay, well, I mean, logically in my mind, I guess that does kind of make sense. Like if you're trying to take a next step, sometimes you got to withhold what you're doing just for making yourself so accessible, right? And so like I put all that stuff on pause, and then I'm working with this person. Well, then there was a hiccup that came, and I'm just like, okay, you know, what's going on? Then there was another hiccup that came, and then it just turned into like pretty much the funding that they had planned, something fell through and it didn't happen. And I was just like, what? And yeah, that time span was literally over like a year and a half. We got the song on BET, that did happen. We got a couple of records done by Cash Clay. We did get the song mastered at Patchwork. In fact, the record that we did, like, is so fire. Like, at some point I'm gonna just have another producer, like, I'm gonna just send raw vocals and have them build around it, because the song is literally like amazing. I just feel like no matter what, it's kind of like a charting record, whether I'm doing it to reference it to like another already established artist. But like the guy at Patchwork who was mixing and mastering it actually was trying to get points on the song rather than like having us pay for it. Like, not knowing who I am, I'm way out here in Nebraska. It was just kind of like, yo, whoever did this song, I'd rather just get a percentage of it than have y'all pay me. But we didn't do that, thankfully, because then that would have made it even more, I'm saying, like, messy. But yeah, that span of time is like, it was very discouraging because I was like, I built up all this momentum. I did that by myself. You know what I mean? Just being consistent, obviously, and just with God too. But like being consistent, I did that. And then I listened to somebody who was showing me some things. But in the end, the ultimate thing that I was looking for, it didn't happen. And then it was like, I was dang near silent. You know what I'm saying, to the world for all that time. And you got to think how fast social media like moves, you know what I mean? And it's just like, yeah, that was so much time that I wasted, to where it felt like when I started doing things again in 2020, it just felt like it took a lot for me to get motivated to start doing stuff again, because it almost felt like starting over. And yo, shout out to my bro Yada, because really, I think he just said something to me that was like, it might feel like that to you as an artist, but believe me, there's people out there who've still been like waiting like for you. You know what I mean? Even though it may not feel like that, because you're like, okay, it don't start off the same that it ended exactly, but you'll get back there because like you got it. You know what I mean? And that was super encouraging for me, because yeah, that time period, it was just like, why did I listen to that? You know what I mean? But I would never make that mistake again. For sure not.
Right. That sound like you weren't officially signed, were you? You were just kind of just working with them.
Yep, just working with them.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's to be fun. That's kind of like really how the big industry, how they do the big wigs in the industry. That's why a lot of projects get held up. Like, just hold off. Don't do your own thing. Don't do your own thing. We got it. It's time, and we make sure this is lined up. But also just not having actual liquid funds, and was probably banking on some funding to come through. They budgeted something they didn't have. Right. That's always a recipe for disaster. In the end, some people make good on it, but that's a hard sell. But you made it out of it.
Facts. Facts.
And I'm like, man, let me get my producer bag on. Let me figure out so I can give me some points then. I put something together on the track. Young guy looking like, hey, I got something in the tuck. I ain't playing with y'all. The Streets A&R Podcast production. But yeah,
that's
man.
the young guy right there.
Yeah. But that's really dope. And I think it's good for a lot of people to really hear what artists are kind of dealing with, especially on the way up. A lot of times we don't get to hear what's happening on the way up. When you do pop or go viral, or you're putting in that work, a lot of things fall on deaf ears after that. So
right,
just inspiring. Like, you still here producing, like to come out with that holiday banger that's gonna ring from December to February every year.
Hey, snow days.
You know what I'm saying? It's just something good, and to still want to work, especially with the local. I hate saying local. The people here that surround you, to work with that talent, man, and see what you got going on there. Are there some other producers here that you specifically working with or have been working with?
Oh yeah, for sure. And like, obviously you're the plug on the main producer that I'm working with, which is Lightpole. I met him officially at the sneaker soiree that Eric had put on, and then literally from there, me and LP locked in, and we have been grinding. Like, and I think the really beautiful thing about like us coming together to collaborate is like whatever energy, and I was just telling LP this, whatever energy we're putting out, yo, people are just feeling it. Like, when I tell you, people have been just reaching out like, how can I help? How can I help? like I can contribute here, like just literally off the strength of really believing in what we're doing, not even like they're trying to get something out of it, just wanting to be like we just did a photo shoot like from somebody that's connected with LP, who was like, I love what y'all doing, said that he was a fan of my music, did it for us for free, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Just had somebody reach out like, I could be a DJ, like, cause I just believe in what you're doing, like type of thing, you know. And so I really feel like, yeah, me and LP crossing paths, that has been just like a blessing, because I finally get to build music up from scratch, and I've never got the experience of like doing that before. And it's just different, you know what I mean? Like just being able to say, oh, I have this idea for this melody or whatever, and then LP just being like a music wizard. This dude can just get right on the keys. He can find not only like whatever the melody is, but he can capture the feeling of like what it is that I'm trying to go for, you know. And I just feel like that's within itself, that's such a gift, you know what I mean? And so I'm working with him. I'm also working with Tylynn. Man, shout out to him, because really Tyrell was the first producer to ever reach out to me to be like, however I can help, I'll help. Like, you don't gotta like pay me for these. I'm not even looking for that. Like, and would send me beats every single day. Like, I don't know no producer, I'm be honest, that works at the rate in which he works. Like, if I'm like, hey, yo, Tyrell, I need a beat like this, he will literally send it to me that day. Like, just make it and send it to me. So I'm working with him as well. But right now, those are the main two producers I'm locked into. I've had other producers reach out to me, and several that do still reach out to send me beats. But I think I'm so focused on wanting to really like build and solidify my sound with the ones that I have, that I'm like, I don't want to let in too many more right now. So yeah.
Got you. Man, that's just good to hear.
Yeah.
And LP is that dude.
Facts.
Mm-hmm.
Facts.
Mm-hmm.
And I was going to ask, and Jonny, you can hop in anytime. For me, when I listen to your music, you know, and it's a thing that I noticed early on. I was like, man, she don't look, baby, she don't look like. Tylynn don't cuss.
I don't.
So, you know, are you even just classify? Do you even try to classify yourself, or do you just express yourself? So meaning that, do you put yourself in a category like Christian rapper, or do you just like, I'm a rapper, I'm just happen to be Christian, kind of like the Lecrae type thing, or what do you say? Who do you say you are as an MC?
Honestly, just that. I don't. You know what's interesting? I didn't know that CHH was a genre until 2020. That's no cap. Like, I knew there was Lecrae, Andy Mineo.
Right.
That's really about it. And then like I just kind of like found that world in 2020. Oh my gosh, y'all popping out here. Like, and there are so many very talented CHH artists. Like, I mean, would blow your mind, could go bar for bar with like just other hip hop artists and whatever, you know what I'm saying? But just do it in a way. But me really, like, I just tell people I make life music, but I don't try to combat people as to what they classify me as, because that's futile. At the end of the day, you know, like the efforts would be, and it would be like blowing steam out of my head. I don't care, because at the end of the day, people will classify you as whatever to make themselves feel comfortable, because people like things they can understand, right? So yeah, I just tell people I make life music, and however you want to take that, you can. My faith is a big part of my life, so that's why it will always transcend through my music in some way, shape, or form. But nah, I don't really try to box myself in. I just make music about my life, and I try not to make anything that I feel like would be contrary to my own morals. So I'm never gonna make something just because it sounds cool and because I'm capable of it, if it doesn't like align just like with my morals and my spirit. So
oh Lord, she ain't gonna be here that long. She got morals in the rap now.
You know, that's always a difficult challenge, is maintaining integrity. As far as getting started, how did you get started in the music industry and rapping and picking up the pen?
So I actually started writing raps when I was like 6.5, 7 years old. My family was into music. So my mom and my aunt, they used to sing in church. My nana used to take them all around the country singing in churches. My papa, he could play every instrument. He wrote music books. And so it was just kind of always in me, I should say. But what sparked it for me, that I was like, oh, I want to write raps and music was when I was about 6.5. My mom, she had recorded this particular record and it had a rap verse in it, and I memorized it subconsciously. And one day we were just riding in the car and she played it and I was just rapping along with it. And then she saw me rapping it and was like, hold on, like she really knows this whole rap. And so she took me to the studio with her because she thought it would be a good idea for me to rap that verse on her song. And when she took me to the studio, I can't explain it, but I knew, I was like, this is what I want to do. Literally went home that day and started trying to like write raps. Didn't know what to talk about and was just trying to rhyme words pretty much for the most part. And then by the time I was maybe about 10 or 11 was when I started trying to figure out what I actually want to talk about in music. And my cousin Kenny Ken, shout out to him, when I was that age, he was like, just don't rap about nothing that's not really you. Like, don't rap about nothing fake because don't nobody want to hear that. And because I was just rapping about all kind of crazy stuff because my mom was playing stuff like Spice One and Project Pat and you know what I'm saying? So, and I was a huge fan of DJ Quick. So it's like, I'm just rapping about, whatever. I'm just trying to be nice with the pen. And, my cousin was like, don't nobody want to hear nothing fake. So don't rap about nothing that you're not actually doing, that's not really you. And it just humbled me. And I was like, okay, cool. All right, I'm going to just rap about what's really me. And that is a principle I have stood on like my whole life since I've been 11 years old. And so I will never, ever deter from that. My foundation is set in that, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's pretty much how I got into it. And then just as I got older, music matured a bit more. When I was in college, I put music on hold completely because I was also an athlete, so I didn't really have time to do it. And then once I graduated in 2017 came and I was like, all right, now I'm about to get after it, and then that's when I started tapping into Instagram, the freestyles going to 2018, all of that stuff. So
at what point did it become real that this music thing could be something that you can actualize?
I think for me, I always kind of believed that it was the journey that I was going to take, or at least try to take, no matter what. I think, and it's really hard to say because I wasn't really so much like, oh man, I'm getting this acknowledgement. I'm like, I must have something to do it, because I just always felt as a writer and as an artist that I was just gifted with something to where I could put songs together, I could put concepts together, I could do melodies, I would rap with my friends, sing, all of that stuff, and people would always give me the exact same reaction. So I knew it was something, but for me later it was a matter of trying to understand the business side of things, because the truth is you could be the most talented person in the world, but if you don't figure out the business side, you don't figure out marketing, you don't do that, it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't matter. Nobody will hear it. And so for me, it's never been a moment of I can actually do this. It's always been like, how can I get better? How can I push this further? What more can I add? Like, just trying to build more of like an entrepreneurial like type of mindset. So yeah.
I was gonna say, speaking on the business, I know you have had a few placements in the last couple of years. One of them on the show is his sisters. Yeah. And so my just quick plug, my Gary on the show. I know you don't watch. She loves the show. She got a place. So Gary on the show is my old teammate from college, actually.
Really?
Old football teammate. So
wow.
So but when we talk, very my boy Cheeto. So when you talk music and business, when we're talking about things like placements. How were you able to make that happen? Like, what goes into getting a placement, and how do you find out that news? Like, what happens? What's that process like?
So, actually, this is really dope. Just another one of those just blessings, man. So, actually, Jamel McNair, I don't know if you know who that is, but he's from here, but he kind of has, been around a lot, been in the industry. He is an A&R, I think, at some point for RCA, then Motown, and just, I think he manages like Will Gittins now, but he had been following my music career since about 2018. He was just watching everything I was doing, and he tapped in with me, and he would throw me these opportunities for doing potential like reference records for placement. So more so like on the publishing side of things. And none of that really came into fruition at the time because I was kind of like, I don't know. I was also stuck in this mindset of like, I don't want to write for nobody. Like this is my sound, But like he just still continued to just, I guess, watch me, believe in me. And then he got a direct connection with a company that I work with who is connected to a whole bunch of like production music companies and networks and all of that. And so he connected me with them, and then literally I just started working with them, and they are the ones that are connected to the big machines like BMG, Warner, ITV, all of that. And so I just make records with them. We do the contracts for them, and then the big companies place them, and then I just kind of get the news like this got bought, that got bought, and so that's really just how it's worked out for me. It was one person putting me in the room with certain people who had all the connections pretty much.
That's what's up. I know them checks they ain't gotta be nice, but at least it's, you're getting some residual in this.
So this is the thing. So because those things had just got placed, like what was it, in June and July, I gotta wait like 6 months to a year before I see the royalties on them. So but I'm hoping that that's the case, because I got several placements at this point. So yeah, which is just a blessing, man. And the interesting thing is, and shout out to everybody that's listening to this. If you got a dream, you grinding, you working on something, just keep putting in the effort, because all the songs that got placed for me thus far, I made those in my room in 2018. And years later, they ended up being songs that this company was like, we love those songs. We feel like those songs will actually do well for this particular industry of things. And it's like, what, really? So yeah, man, if y'all grinding out there, y'all got a dream, just stick with it. Definitely stick with it, because you never know like when your opportunity is gonna come, and it could be something that you did like 3 and 4 years ago and you would have never thought. So
that's what's up, man. Y'all heard her, but you gotta be good.
Yeah. Have some genuine people around you that's gonna tell you, yeah, that's you, or like, nah, that's not you.
You trash, bruh. It's okay, but you trash. Let's get to work.
Yeah, you need some real ones for sure, cause everything ain't gonna go. That's true.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. I think a question that popped into my mind, because I watched you the other day on the Omaha Performing Arts. They had the live interview panel. How do you feel? And I feel like they didn't give you the proper time to answer the question that was kind of hinted at on there. How do you feel as far as being a female MC? And do you feel like you get the respect that you deserve as a female MC or as an MC, period?
Yeah, 100. That's so funny that you say that, because yeah, like I was even thinking like, dang, my time to answer this is short, and I'm the woman in hip hop up here right now. Honestly, I feel like it's always a challenge for sure being in a male-dominated industry. Like being a woman is definitely a challenge, especially when you're not trying to go the scenic route of like, oh, every female is talking about like her body, exposing this, just vanity this, you know what I'm saying? And actually like kind of afraid to take that route of like the Rhapsodies and the Lil Sims, you know what I'm saying? But then you'll look and go, they did it and it worked. You know what I mean? Like just being themselves, being different, it works. Tierra Whack, it works. And I think I had to get to a point of being like, my audience is going to be my audience. I cannot try to ever like cater to a group that likes this particular thing. And that's not to say that any group can be like, oh, well, we like two things. That's great, because I'm still going to be over here in this category. So if you want to like that and this, perfect. But like, yeah, I just had to get to a point of being like, I can't please everybody. And that's unrealistic anyways. I wouldn't want to, because I would feel like any artist that just pleases everybody is compromised, in my opinion. You know what I mean? But yeah, I definitely feel like it's not really like a fair shake. You know what I'm saying? But like at the end of the day, you just really have to be yourself and just stay true to that, And like I said, who is for, because there's 7 billion people on this planet, at least roughly, right? So if you think that you just have to be this specific way in order to get any type of support, like you've definitely been psyched out by the industry. You know what I mean? Because me just doing what I do, having real genuine interactions with people, I know that it makes an impact. And I'm like, you're not the only person that hears my music like that. I know that. There's no way. You know what I mean? And so, yeah, at the end of the day, you just really gotta be yourself, but you definitely gotta navigate it. And I feel like, and it's interesting, I said it in one of my freestyles back in 2018, and I was like, let me address the elephant in the room, because now it's getting serious. They say I'm one of the hardest females. No, I'm one of the hardest, period. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of dudes, they would try to do that. Man, she one of the coldest female. Get in this room and rap with me. What you talking about? No, I'm one of the coldest rappers, period. It's not like one of the coldest females, but I feel like guys would do that as a way of trying to not like hide their level of intimidation that they might have by what I'm doing, by saying like, oh, she just one of the hardest. You know, it's like, oh, she one of the hardest females, so that means she can't be put against me. Right. But yeah, you know, it is what it is.
Yeah, man, I wish I had the only time I mention this man's name, the Tekashi 6ix9ine drop. I'm letting my nuts hang. She just let her nuts hang out here.
I don't have any of those.
No, you get the metaphor. You get it. But yeah, man, I think Big Crit mentioned that too when he was talking like with Rhapsody and talking about her. He's like, the reason she don't get a lot of features is because dudes don't want to get watched on their track. Reason said like, yeah, she watched me on my track on my album. He like, it was an honor because I know what she do. She Grammy nominated, which don't play with me. So it is like, so a little bit is that ego not wanting to give up the grounds to women in that nature. And like, dude, this. You either better get better or get washed.
Right.
Get cleansed real quick.
Right.
So how can we increase the representation of female artists so that they get the respect that they need in the hip hop arena? Like, is there anything specific that we can do as a culture to make sure that we give in the proper light and the proper support to female artists that we do to male artists?
Honestly, I think you said it. It's really just giving the recognition. It's actually supporting. It's downloading the albums. It's running up the streams. It's actually giving the music a fair chance. And I just think we as a culture all have to come together on that common conscience to be like, oh, well, you don't have to rap about this in order for me to even take a listen to your stuff. You know what I mean? So I think that's really it, is just having to show support for the artists who aren't like, who don't sound like most of the females who are like popular in the industry, if you know what I'm saying, what their music is worth something. So yeah, that's what I think it is, just having to show support.
I feel that. And speaking of show support, I don't know if you was gonna hit on or ask about the song Peer Pressure and what they got going on as far as that's out now. Did you want to hit on it?
You go ahead.
As far as Peer Pressure, man, tell me about the process of creating that song. And it's out playing now. People can definitely go check it out. Tell us where we can check out that song and tell us about the process of that.
Listen, y'all can go check out Peer Pressure by me and Lightpole. He produced that record. It is on all streaming platforms, all DSPs. So whether you got Apple Music, iTunes, Spotify, Tidal, you name it, it's there. The official music video is also out, shot by Dodo. He's super fire too. So that record, man, it's actually interesting. That was the second song that me and LP worked on. And it just came together so organically. He had actually already had that beat done, but the minute I heard it, I was like, whoa. I was like, that beat, I want to work on that. And he added some things to it to amplify it a little bit more. But I was just like, something about that is just giving me this feeling of like I want to tell a story, like I got to rush, you know, just something. And then it just came to me and I'm like, Peer Pressure. I said, this beat makes me feel like I'm having a memory or a flashback of something, you know what I'm saying? And something like from my youth. And so that's really how it came about, man. And I feel like it's something that when people listen to it and get into it, they're going to be like, I feel that, you know what I mean? Like I can relate to this on some level, not necessarily the specific events, but just the overall message of the record, and just, which pretty much is just saying like, look at the things that I do just to be loved by y'all. You know what I mean? And it's like, I'm trying not to lose myself in the midst of all of this stuff, but I do this just because I'm seeking love, you know? And it's making your homies realize like, do y'all see what y'all got me going through? I'm doing all of this just for y'all approval. You know what I mean? And I feel like if you've grown up, it doesn't matter what environment you've grown up in, to be honest. Everybody has experienced peer pressure on some level. Even as adults, I feel like we experience peer pressure. So I just think it's one of them records that when y'all go listen to it, y'all gonna be like, yeah, I feel this for real. So
yeah, no, it's definitely one of them records. And I will shamelessly plug, I was an extra in that video. I got to jump a nigga in that video. So
you definitely did.
Shout out if you see me in there jumping a nigga. I probably got aggression. The peer pressure got to me. I usually don't be on camera enacting violence, but the peer pressure got to me.
Johnny had a flashback.
I did. Hey, that's why I started laughing when she said something about a flashback. I said, I got a flashback.
Oh, man.
Them niggas was tripping at that store that day. What is it? Nah, I think that's definitely dope, though. So shout out to you. One song of yours that's definitely in rotation on my phone, though, is Get By. So we definitely keep you popping. We keep you going in the playlist and in the rotation.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I actually wrote that song like inspired by my grandfather, and God rest his soul, he passed. But I wrote that and because I felt such a sense of urgency to just like make it, whatever that means, you know what I mean? And it's just because my papa, just my whole life, he was the music one. I mean, my mother was too, but he was really the one that would always just have the conversations with me. Oh, what's going on with this? How's that going? And you know what you got to do, and would just give me like advice and all of that stuff. And he was real big on telling me to go back to the CDs. Oh, them CDs is coming back. I don't know, Papa. I don't think they're coming back. But he got a burner for it. He was ready to get the CDs popping. And so like, yeah, I wrote that just feeling so just inspired to be like, yo, I have to just make something shake that I can just show him that he could be proud of. I mean, granted, I know he was always proud, but it's like I wanted to do something tangible to where it was like, look at that. You know what I mean? Because obviously them coming from totally different generation, in which he, you know, didn't get to see in this physical world of me getting my song on TV and all of that stuff. But it's like, that's what it felt like in those moments. And I'm like, I need to do something that just can kind of show that like all of this hard work and stuff, like it pays off, because he's someone who kind of like gave up his dream to take care of his family and to take care of generations long beyond his own kids. You know what I mean? And so like, it's like, I just wanted to kind of show that. So that's really where the inspiration from that record came from.
Man, that's dope.
Yeah, and it's really real cool and dope to hear you hold your pops in such high reverence. Even you saying Papa lets me know that that's a very endearing term in general most people don't use. So just to hold them in that high reverence, man, it's just good to see. And you ain't got to question whether you're making them proud.
Amen.
You ain't got to question that one.
Yeah.
Man, I don't want to, we can just keep going, but you got something else, Johnny?
I guess, I always end it out on a high note.
Yeah.
You got another question?
No, man, I'm gonna save it for round two after the Grammy nod.
Hey, you know what I'm saying?
That part.
Hey, I got my first major award coming, so I'm actually super excited about that.
Hit the claps. We need some
claps.
We need a round of applause for Tylynn. There we go. Yeah.
I had won the Mark Award for production music. My song had got nominated for hip hop track of the year, and I actually won.
Man.
Yeah, for all production music, like, so that's all music in like movie scores and stuff. That blew my mind. I was like, what? Forgot to go up. So yo, shout out to Def 7, shout out to BMG, man. Yeah, we trying to go up. We just trying to keep going up.
Big man things. Big man things popping.
So and I guess I'll end it out on this, and you take it wherever you take it. What's some of the things that you're looking forward to this year and beyond? What's some of the things that we could be looking forward for coming from Tylynn and the movement of Tylynn music?
Man, so first and foremost, this project, this album that me and LP are doing right now, I am so excited about it. I can't even explain, man. I finally got a team. I prayed for a team, and I cannot make it up. Like, God put it together for me in like 6 months. Specifically, everything I asked for. That's how I know it was only God. Like, between producer, videographer, engineer, everything that I needed. Everybody's passionate. I'm looking forward to putting out this project, the visuals that come with it. I'm currently working on my brand, so I'm excited to start working on like clothing, merchandise, and getting that out as well. And then just doing more shows, man. I hope that this COVID stuff really lets up, because performing, that's my jam. That's what I love. So I'm hoping that in 2022 we can really just get it popping. And I might have, I'm not gonna even give it away now, but might be doing something pretty big coming soon as far as performing, given that COVID does not ruin things. But yeah, man, 2022, I just feel like this year is definitely gonna be a special one. That's for sure.
And I said that was my last question, but I guess I lied. Do you got any words of advice for any young ladies out there that's following in the footsteps of Tylynn, that's trying to be their own artist, that's out there facing the circumstances, the scrutiny, not getting the support they needed? Do you got any words of advice for any of the youth out there listening to this?
Yeah, my advice to you would be, don't necessarily expect just because people know you and people know that you do something that they're going to genuinely support you, because not everybody that is around you, and this might be a harsh reality, especially when you're young, but not everybody that's close to you and around you wants to see you win and become successful, because they could feel like it's making them inadequate, or that it means that they're not good, right? Because they could see you elevating and getting higher. All I would tell you is just, if you have a dream or a passion, to stick with it, keep going at it. And even if the people close to you don't support you, somebody will. Like, if you're really passionate about something and you have the work ethic for it, just keep going. You know what I mean? Just don't get discouraged when you feel like people around you aren't supporting you as much, because somebody's gonna come along and do it. If you're dope, that's important. You know what I'm saying? Definitely work hard and know what your strengths are. Okay.
Man, a great note. And we're going to probably get out of there on that note, man. So give me one more round of applause for our esteemed guest, Ms. Tylynn.
Our second guest to bless us on the podcast.
Oh, I'm the second guest?
Second guest.
Wow. Look at me.
Yeah.
Okay. I feel special.
Number 2
One of
and
the early
20
birds.
2 and 22. 20 in the year 2022.
Wow. So yeah, this just got even better. I know it's special now because the numbers is lining up. Oh man. Yeah.
And before you get out of here, let everybody know again one more time where they can find you at.
So you can find me on all social media at Tylynn Music, TYLYNN Music. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and I have a Twitter, but really I don't use it that much. But you can go on there if you want. But yeah.
Twitter for us old folks. And make sure you see on Spotify, Apple, Deezer, YouTube,
all that.
Everything.
Get on there, man. We're running her subscribers up too, man. And I'm telling y'all to check out these tracks, check out this music. And before you even check out the music, just go watch the freestyles and let us know what you think.
Yeah, I'll prove myself on those.
And we're gonna make sure we do our best to do our street A&R thing. I'm gonna try to shoot a bug to Rhapsody. She did like one of my pictures one time because I caught her eye in the crowd when she was in Lincoln. I ain't gonna lie. I got the comment in the picture to prove it. She found me.
Hey, 100. Go ahead. Listen, I'm here for all the alley-oops.
Listen, however we get it, we do the dirty work. We appreciate you for stopping through.
I appreciate y'all.
And more blessings, more power to you, and everything that's coming that's in store for you will happen. And we gonna be here to be a vessel to make sure it happens on our end. We do what we gotta do. With true supporters, real genuine love, and just keep elevating. We here for it. Man, y'all know where to find us at. Everything. Listen to us.
Hit that like button, hit the comment, subscribe, and if you made it to this part, drop a Tylynn in the chat, man.
Hey.
Man, drop a little birdie, man. Drop a little bird in the chat, man.
Yeah.
And so with that, man, it's Streets A&R, man. We'll see y'all later, man. Peace.
Out.
Peace.
Peace.
The beats, the flow, the rhythm. All movement starts from the streets. Streets A&R Podcast.